All right, guys, here we are to talk about episode 2 of Defenders.
Los Defenders.
My golly. So things are starting to come up. We have
More
people
exposition.
crossing paths,
Yes, ma'am.
as expected, but a little bit of action, like I was hoping. So we left off with Matthew Murdock and Jessica Jones are together.
Yeah, which was in the trailer, which I'm happy about because
Good.
I was talking like, I hope they like pair off and then pair off in like the opposite way or something like that. That would be cool. And and these are the two things that we saw in the trailer. So I'm glad that we're getting them out of the way, like sooner rather than later. So that it's like okay.
Yeah, we got a nice Luke Cage fighting with Iron Fist. That was cool. And he, ragdolls him for a while, and then finally he uses the Iron Fist, which is always a funny thing. I'm like, lead with the Iron Fist.
I
know.
know.
You punch somebody once, your hardest, and they don't move at all. Iron Fist them.
That would be my thing, too. They haven't really set it up where there's a great cost to him for using that.
I don't know how it works. If there's a mana bar that's slowly depleting, I'd be using it all the time. Jar of pickles.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't know about that. They haven't really made that clear to me, but I understand. I guess you don't want to. He doesn't seem to want to like randomly kill people for no reason. But this person's demonstrated.
It seemed like
and he says,
gonna kill him.
How like is like, what are you made out of or whatever. And at first, it seemed like his hits were just totally useless. But when they did like the slow mo thing, they really sold how like hard the hits were, but that it was still not affecting Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And I was very much like, oh, okay, cool.
But if you live in a world where like I have this power, I don't want to hurt anybody. Why would you aim for his face on the first hit with it?
Well, because he's like, all right, you're obviously a giant monster. I have to kill you. I have to shatter. Because it could have torn his jaw off of his face and shattered his whole life and killed him permanently, right? Yeah, I don't know. Right?
Because,
punch him right in the sternum and, like, stop his heart instantly. And he's like,
yeah, like, I don't know.
and then it's like Defenders, over.
Punch him in, like, the arm. Because, like, maybe you explode his arm off his body, but then he's not
dead.
dead.
And you can just sell him that, like, no, I can hurt you. I am the immortal Iron Fist. Fucking get out of my way. I have to take care of this thing. He works with the hand. I have to stop this.
Dead arm. Oh, my God.
And then it's, like, one-armed Luke Cage. That was cool, though. They met but then split. It seems like Jessica Jones and Daredevil are going to meet but then, like, be together for some period of time.
We'll see how that goes if she starts to explain the situation and like, he knows she's telling the truth, obviously, because he can tell her heart. And then I wonder if she'll be like, you're superpowered somehow. I know.
Yeah, right? So they don't know about each other at all, right? Does he know?
Presumably, they should know. The Devil in Hell's Kitchen is in the news. Like, you should know.
But do you know that it's Matt Murdock? No, right?
No.
Yeah. Does he know that Jessica Jones? Because like Trishy there is talking about how like you're a hero now or whatever.
Yeah.
But do they know that? Do they just think she's the hero that stopped this guy, or do they think that she's the super powerful hero that stopped the guy?
I don't know.
Does
Matt might, Daredevil may have read more into it, and he might know things.
I wonder if she knows
we'll see if they
that
drop
she's
some
got
knowledge at the beginning of the next episode. We know what the kids are doing. They're midnight cleanup crew for the hand, melting melting their dead with acid.
Yeah, so that's cool. At least they explain that, because these series have had a tendency to let something drag on to the point where you're like, what? That makes no. But this is very clear, very obvious.
Sure.
We need kids. We're gonna pay them well. Hush, hush. Do this, whatever. That stuff.
Yeah, with the
late nights pays well, ends badly.
The white suit pimp daddy guy.
Yeah, we didn't really see even like a close up of him, right? We don't even know what he's all about.
He's shorter than I thought.
Yeah, he's a little dude. White Hat is the ringleader of this whole thing. I wonder who's he. Like, were we meant to know who he is if he's a person that we know before?
He's not rung a bell with me, but maybe.
He didn't have any dialogue or didn't do anything, so I don't know if he's supposed to be a dude. Is White Hat a famous comic book character?
Maybe.
I'm sure someone's called White Hat at some point.
Not in my circles.
Sure.
But who knows? It was, a fine episode. Much better than the first episode, in my opinion.
Well, we are ramping up.
We're getting to be like, okay, we understand the thing. It was Elektra. We're led to believe that it was Elektra in the sewers as well. Like, more definitively
she's fucking
now.
turned up to 11.
She's cranking. The person that Jessica Jones was sent to find killed himself in her office because he'd rather die than have Elektra hurt him.
Yeah, I wonder what he knows or what the hell is going on. He says he was trying to stop them.
He was trying to stop the hand.
He hoarded. He had a bunch of explosives. Do you think he had a bunch of explosives, or was that planted there to like frame him to get him out of the picture?
I think he had a bunch of explosives, and he was going to try to like blow up the hole or blow up something. Yeah.
And they're digging for something. Sigourney Weaver says they've hidden it. We need to get to it. They wouldn't have, let us, they're just protecting it. They would have destroyed it if they didn't want us to have it. What is it?
It, obviously, Beanie Baby from circa 2000s.
Like
that
a
was
really
only
rare
worth
one.
A lot of money.
Yeah, one of those limited edition, like limited regional ones.
That'd be my guess.
Sure. No, we have no idea what it is, but it's something supernatural. Do you think it has the key to Sigourney Weaver extending her life?
I don't know.
Do you think
or it's just her goals worth more than her own life, and she just wants whatever it is to be done.
Do you think Sigourney Weaver was around and knew Beethoven and Brahms?
I do.
He was
I
a
do
petty son of a
believe.
bitch.
I do believe she is as old as what's her name? Cow Zhao
Gao?
Gao.
I think it's Gao.
I think she's been around forever. I don't think it's an insight in these musical people. I think she knew them firsthand. She's been around for hundreds of years.
Oh, just things I've picked up along the way.
And
Did she drop some other
dying.
knowledge on the bench feeding the birds that seemed like some old shit? Oh, this park is like with the selling of Manhattan Island or whatever. Yeah. She's like,
I think this was all trees.
Yeah, because she was there and saw it as all trees.
It's certainly possible.
I know. Yeah.
I would love to be that old.
I know.
And live forever and just do shit like that.
And something's happening to her, and she's finally dying, and maybe that's why whatever the hand could do for her it doesn't even work anymore. They already did that 100 years ago, and now it's finally like wearing off or whatever.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But Gao hasn't seemed to say like, hey, So maybe there is some secret ingredient behind this Kunlun door that's hiding something that they need in like the.
I'm sure there's some delicious spices to be
some
sprinkled
formula,
upon.
some herbs and spices to keep Sigourney Weaver alive for another 100 or 1,000 years or whatever.
There's still though a very straightforward episode. We're learning that people might know more about this earthquake than they're letting on. Someone called in to try to say like this was not what they're saying. This wasn't 50,000 feet deep. This was like 300 feet deep.
A shallow quake.
This is a weapon made by the government.
Yeah, no, and so there's obviously like a cover-up going on, right? Everything's so Jessica Jones is trying to look into this company, and the records just keep going back forever. That kind of supports the whole the people pulling the strings have been around for a long time.
Shell corporation upon shell corporation upon shell.
It's a series of charities and dummy corporations. It's very complicated.
Martin Tam.
But the other thing with that too is they're talking about. I forgot what I was gonna say. Let's just keep doing this until I remember it.
That'll do it.
Daredevil. The Thing. Say something.
Well, Lee has a stroke.
Let's talk about
We'll just talk a little more. So I thought that Foggy was going to be taking over the Jessica Jones case, and it would be him that comes in. But because didn't Trinity, or whatever her fucking real name is in this show, say, all right, Jessica's going to get in trouble, and when she does, I need you to swoop in. But then it wasn't Foggy coming to the rescue.
No. So I thought she was going to say Jessica Jones might be in trouble, and if and when that happens, blank, and I thought the blank, fill in the blank was going to be we have to intercept her and keep her safe, but she was like, we want nothing to do with her if she gets into trouble.
We want to distance ourselves.
The first thing we're going to do, keep her as far away from us as fucking possible. And in the trailer, they had that scene where he says, Miss Jones, stop talking, and she and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm your lawyer. And then she gives him a look like he was hitting on her at a bar, and she's like, ew, what? No, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Which was awesome because she's
like,
fucking
Foggy
what?
Gave him the tip
I think that
there?
she might have been in one of those files, and who knows. The way that Foggy said, like, hey, just to be clear, she's not in trouble yet, right? I think that might have been a thing where he was like, oh, shit, she was like the top on my stack that I just handed to Matt. Oh, fuck. Am I in trouble? Oh, no, I like Boff and Marcy. I don't want to ruin this life. Okay, I'll keep you in the loop.
Yeah.
All that stuff. No, I don't know how he knew, because otherwise, right, how would he know to go to Jessica Jones's, interrogation room and all that shit?
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
What else happened in this episode? This episode felt like it was such a straightforward. It felt very short. It didn't feel like 40 minutes like at all.
Well, so Daredevil, Matt Murdock, has he actually put on the shit yet, or he's just looked at it and then closed the cabinets or whatever? We commented that he's very convincing with the blindness. I like that.
Sure.
Because he can see, but he doesn't use his eyes to see. So it's this complicated thing where he has to kind of not look at anything, but still know and grab stuff or whatever.
No, he's a very convincing
really good.
blind actor. And I don't know many blind people, but I've known at least one. And the way his eyes are just looking off because again they don't mean anything to him.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you choose the direction to glance.
Yeah, we're so used to looking, right?
Because the one blind person who I knew decently well would his head would turn to you, or he would turn to for his ear to hit you, but the eyes, his eyes are perfect, to how.
No, I know. And even if it's not perfect, it's perfectly the way you think that it would be if it was that. So he's selling it really good. Yeah, I don't know. There's probably some actor trick to it where it's just pick a, look at your finger and then keep looking at it, but move your head or something weird. Probably some weird bullshit. But no, I like that because they could have forgotten that or dropped that because he can basically see. And sometimes it's really dumb where it's can you see that's a different color with your echolocation powers? What are you talking about? Does blue make a different thing?
Dot patterns of the ink.
Right? I don't know. Can you sonar the ink? Does ink reflect differently?
But then you saw him have trouble opening a bandage at one point. And I'm like, because those are hard even if you can see.
If you can't, well then how does he read the label that says tear open here or whatever? He's just groping around.
As a person who can see and read, I often overlook those and just grab from any position possible.
I meticulously inspect the packaging, plan my attack perfectly, and then do the exact same thing he did. I'm like, you fucking, and then it flies out of the thing. Yeah.
I just bite it and pull.
100% exactly.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones did all that research that we're talking about.
Sure.
She talked to... So people are all back off, national security, this is a problem. When, Ray Curtis? No, Eric Raymond, when he called up being just go, leave the case alone, or whatever. That type of shit with her just makes her want to find out more, right?
Sure.
So, Hrothgar telling her to back off.
Especially being, a boss of superpowered proportions.
Right. She's like a defiant rogue, whatever the fuck. So anyone telling her. And so Eric Raymond didn't know that, but I think Hogarth does know that. So I don't know if she was telling her to back the fuck off to try to get her to look into it.
I don't know.
Because she goes and says, back the fuck off, and then she immediately goes and says, all right, she's not going to back the fuck off. So when she gets, into trouble, we don't know her, fucking don't return her calls, Froggy, keep her away from us.
I took it as, let me give you, one more point of advice.
Just to try,
you really have to back off here, but knowing she probably wouldn't give
Exactly.
Foggy that, that order.
Totally. I can get behind that. We already talked about Luke Cage. Did Luke Cage do anything besides fight with Iron Fist and search for that kid and all that stuff?
No.
I don't think so, right?
He popped up as following.
He carried a giant piece of
he was
foundation.
Originally going to. He was originally going to call to get the police to just take care of that job. But then when he realized it was the person he wanted to help, he's like, I don't want to fuck this guy. That guy got fucked anyway. So it just shows you, you might as well do nothing because everything doesn't matter.
Well, I made a comment you just met that guy. He has relations to someone that has relations to someone from the previous story. But you just met that kid. He didn't want to ask you for help, and he was scared, whatever the fuck. But there's the other fucking 8 kids. They all are presumably innocent youths that were torn into this life or whatever the fuck.
But putting them in jail doesn't help them.
No, so his feelings should almost apply to all of them equally to that. So he saw I've seen that kid before. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Let me handle this myself. Because he wanted to get that kid out of the group before the police came in, right? Just because someone told him to keep an eye out for that kid or something like that, right? Wait, wasn't it Misty?
The cop. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, that kid you were talking about's there. So don't arrest him when you get here.
She couldn't do that.
It's not a big deal.
And it probably wouldn't be her personally.
It would be a whole unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iron Fist, we commented how the fuck does Colleen walk around wearing a sword?
All the time.
All
the time.
Because she gets off the helicopter and we're like, you just got the sword. And it's well, they're on Danny Rand's personal helipad or something like
that.
You're
in the city.
Yeah, and it's no, you're fucking getting off the subway, going to follow on some leads, and you're going to a sword shop, but you're still carrying a fucking deadly weapon in the middle of the street.
Is it against the law to carry a sword though?
I don't know. I don't see that a lot.
I've seen a lot of videos, and some went poorly, but some did not, where people are just carrying AK-47 looking things down the street because it's not hidden. It's a right to bear arms. I'm bearing it.
I'm bearing these arms, yeah.
And then I've seen ones where police are put the gun down.
No, I think they can definitely hassle you, or that's probable cause to be what are you doing here and all that stuff, which is gonna fuck up their their evening. Oh, well, he's the immortal Iron Fist. I'm sorry. Please put the weapons down. Come down to the station. I don't know. That's fine. We finally learned Sigourney Weaver's name.
Yeah,
it's Alexandra. We already talked about White Hat. We got Stick in there. Has been captured by Alexandra.
Yeah.
Alexandra. I hate that name.
And I think for whatever reason, maybe it throws off his echolocation. Probably not, if he even uses the same type of thing. Because Stick seems to be able to see, even though he's blind. He was driving a car at one point.
He shot an arrow and killed someone at like 100 yards or some shit like that.
But they have Stick with a bag on his head to hide his location. And I'm like, does that work on a blind person?
So I don't know if that was to like obscure his identity to anyone who didn't need to know he was there or whatever, right? Because the hood serves those two purposes, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it had tinfoil on the inside.
I think it was just to make the shot better for us.
Yes, 100%. I'm okay with that. There were a lot of shots in here that were pretty dope.
I liked all of Jessica looking through the file clerk area. Like inside the thing, on top of the thing, below the thing, in the book. Like I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good.
I made a comment about it, and then I started to like notice it. Like they're putting the camera in all these weird places that I'm really appreciating. Like it's totally unnecessary. It costs them more time and money, and it doesn't materially change the show. I think for like 90% of the audience. But when he's like interrogating that guy's like by the when Luke Cage is talking to what's his name.
Shot.
Oh well, no, like that cut was awesome, but also even like once he's there, one of the angles they cut to is from like behind the kegs, looking up from like the side.
Yeah.
And like when Jessica Jones, gets out of the elevator, it's like an above shot that then like sweep pans to be like upside down to her walking down the hallway to show her like on her cell phone like checking something and shit.
Yep.
And I'm like, those aren't necessary. You don't need that. When they get to like the dojo, the Colleen and Iron Fist, they're like walking amongst the bodies, and if you go back and watch that scene, the camera like the blocking for that, it was like one long shot or like fake shot with like a steady cam rig dude like hopping amongst all the bodies and following them around and like going in and out and all that shit. That doesn't.
No, the production value
awesome.
is very good, and it's almost like they're merging
I love when
four successful series into one crazy show that has to be living up to the hype.
It gives me hope because if you're gonna put all that attention into like that sort of stuff, then you have people on like your team who are like, well, this would normally be like a flat, boring scene. What can we do? Oh, let's film, through this like grate so that you just see them walking like black against like the night of like the light or whatever. Like, oh, interesting. So once we get some more extreme, crazy fight stuff, I imagine there'll be like the Daredevil parkour thing in the beginning was really good because those cuts when he like jumps and then it cuts to like the splash of the puddle and all that stuff. Like, so I'm looking forward to the rest of the series.
Most definitely. And that's pretty much everything that happened in this episode. Let's check out episode 3. We'll see you then. Don't die in a fire. Let us know in the comments what you thought about this episode, and we'll see you shortly.